Hi, Tom. Hi, everyone. This is Laura, head of Publisher Solutions at Newstex, and today we are here with Tom Allen from AI Journal. Um, Tom, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit so that our publishers can get to know you?
Yeah, really appreciate the opportunity, Laura. It's a lot of fun to be on this show. And yeah, recently partnered with Newstex to expand what we're
Thank
doing
you.
at the AI Journal. So you've been brilliant in
Yes.
helping with that. And yeah, it's really exciting to see us go from strength to strength and be supporting each other's brands. So yeah, very excited.
Absolutely. I love that. Thank you so much for taking the time and be here with us today. So, well, before actually starting, what do we have to know about Tom Allen and AI Journal before I start throwing questions to you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, not much really. I'm someone that loves to be and loves to learn around AI and emerging tech. That's why I kind of started the journal, and my background was engineering. So well, not engineer, I wasn't an engineer. I was marketing for an engineering company, which I always have to be specific about. But yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't really know what I was doing in that sector. I'd come from digital marketing background and quickly had to understand about AI and emerging tech. So started my own blog, which has turned into something much more. And over the next year, we'll be turning into even more brands that will come out of the AI group and what we build. But yeah, it's led to the AI Journal, so it's very exciting to see that we can learn alongside so many other people.
It is. It is very exciting indeed. So, well, just to get to know you, Tom, did you study anything related to publishing or writing?
No, I've never done anything to do with publishing or writing. I'm not a writer. I'm not a journalist. I'm not someone that's had any kind of exposure. I didn't really read. I don't read the news. I mean, I read more from independent people than I do from traditional publications. And it was really something I literally created it. And I do read publications, but I don't read a lot of mainstream publications.
Right.
Um, and really, yeah, it's a learning curve, right? And I'm reaching out to a lot of people at the moment to constantly learn how to make our platform better. What do I need to learn? And because I'm not an editor, I'm not a journalist, and I have zero
Right.
background in that area. I mean, I worked at the PRCA, which we've just signed a partnership with, and that obviously gave me insight into the PR and comms world. But it wasn't something where I was actively involved with PR companies or their projects or customer projects. It was much more kind of admin focused or kind
Okay.
of membership focused, but it was in the PR world. But no, I don't have much experience with it. I studied marketing at university, and I probably kept about maybe 2% of what I've learned at university to my job.
That's what always happens, right? So, what motivated you to start creating content then?
So there's a real like knowledge gap with, or I thought there was with, and I mean it's picking up now because of the hype of AI and everyone talking about it. But when I was first in end of 2019, mid 2019, it was something that got mentioned a bit, and it really when I started a new marketing role at LAC Conveyors, I had to learn a lot around these topics quite quickly and understand how it would impact the business, understand and it generally just took natural interest to me. I thought, wow, this is such an interesting, crazy world. So I just started reading as much as I could. And I thought, what's the best way to learn? To start your own blog and just welcome people to write whatever they like. And it was the loosest guidelines and probably shoddiest business site you could probably see for a blog. But I mean, look, it cost me 20 quid, and from there we kind of took it step to step, and yeah, so it's a lot of fun, and it's really making sure that everyone else can understand it largely for free. Nearly all our content's free, to help people understand what AI and emerging tech is. So it's it's not just from me. We've got 500 contributors around the world that showcase and help, plus tie-ins with partnerships through Business Wire and Cision to really push that. So the real goal is to just help people learn and educate people on AI and emerging tech, and that's why I kind of started it, because I didn't know, and I thought there's
Okay.
probably people that are in a similar field to me.
Okay. So your motivation was like educational, educate people. Is that
Exactly,
correct?
that's what it always is. Yeah, what it always will be.
Okay. Well, that's fantastic. And how did that like passion for AI was born?
I don't know. I just loved it. Like I remember looking at it and thinking, wow, this is really cool. Like it's a really interesting topic.
Yeah. Okay.
And naturally led from there, I guess. That's why I call myself an AI enthusiast, not an AI expert, because I'm not an expert. I love learning about it and I love seeing different viewpoints. So kind of drew from there, I guess. It's, yeah.
Great, great. You took an opportunity on something that passionates you like naturally, right?
Exactly, Laura. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Amazing. So, well, Tom, could you please share with us the most difficult thing that you have to encounter to be where you are today?
Yeah. Last good one. Maybe difficult thing. I mean, all parts of it is hard. It's running a business. It's trying to understand how to put a product on the market that's valuable. We're looking at how to navigate with media. You have to navigate a lot of different communications, a lot of different people. That's why the next business we're going into is much more product focused. So it's or
Okay.
experience focused. And I don't know, we had problems from getting people to understand who we are to leaving my job to go pursue this business, which wasn't a lot of people probably say wasn't the wisest idea.
Right, I
And
bet.
yeah, it was it's a really interesting journey though. I wouldn't take it back for a second. But yeah, just really understanding the market. I'm not a journalist and editor, so to understand that world alongside trying to understand how to run a business, or ways to maximize your business is a real challenge, but it's a challenge that I'm loving. Like anything, once you've done it, you're like, ooh, you feel great. So hopefully that's what I feel like in 5, 10 years when we're a bit more established.
Okay, so well, that's the challenge.
Mm,
So, what do you like the most about publishing, and what
yeah.
is the most frustrating part of it?
I like most that you get to see all different opinions and people's ideas on the world and views, and I really try and take a view, not to have an opinion either way, but just to look at it as like that's interesting or that's and to really have that kind of free agenda to look at topics how you want and not really go in with biases. And that's what I love, bringing all these different people together from different walks of life. And I mean, we've become a little bit stricter in the business and what we do, but it's most part it's free to access and anyone can write for us. And it's
Okay.
really that's what I love seeing people. But the most challenging, I don't know, not I wouldn't know what the big thing is. Like it's maybe people not properly understanding who we are or what we do or how we add value, which is a problem we're facing internally at the moment.
Yeah.
And obviously with recent layoffs this year, it's really put a strain on certain avenues that we wanted to progress a lot quicker than what we are. And obviously
Yeah.
that's a frustration. But I mean
Of course.
it's a I'd rather have it happen now than when we're 10 times the size in 5 years. So it's a good challenge to understand and problem to navigate. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's exactly what it's going to take you to be 5x.
yeah,
Exactly.
exactly, Laura. A lot of fun.
Exactly. Exactly. So, well, I am excited for you and your company. We love that you are part of our Newstex family now.
Yeah.
And we can educate more and more people, through the amazing content that you produce on AI. So,
Like
well,
it. Yeah. Should be a good partnership. We can learn a lot together.
absolutely. So, well, my next question, Tom, I know we understand that you have like correspondence from around the world.
Yeah.
Is that correct? So how do you manage, or how do you source your content? How do you manage these people that are writing for you?
Yeah, it's really simple. So people can come, and it really started from when I started the journal when I was in work at my employer, and I was doing it in evenings and spare time and weekends and everything. And really just wanted to build it so it's a way for people to understand what tech is and to have their own opinions, because it's there's a lot of things that aren't fact, and I mean there are things that are fact, but there's a lot of things that are more opinion based and the way things are going. And I really wanted to democratize this whole thing of having a journalist, and you're seeing Forbes do it and other places do it with contributors, and really to welcome people from different walks of life to come to our business and to leverage our resources to put it in front of 500,000 monthly visitors, to impact the growth of their business and to become a learning curve and to have people disagree or agree with them. So I mean, it's
Right.
a real it's a real solid avenue to understand those areas. And yeah, like we say, now or 10 years from now, there'll always be that avenue for anyone who's just finding their feet. And that's where good opinions come, right? Like I literally just finished that book by Mark Benioff, which is Beyond the Cloud, or Behind the Cloud, which is how he built Salesforce and what he did and he gives like 110 principles on how to build a business. And one of his key ones is look outside of your current industry. So look outside of what you do to find new methods and new ways of doing it. And I mean, that's what we try and impact with our contributors. So even if you're enterprise side, or if you're, in biology, or you're in aviation, or whatever industry, there's tens of thousands or hundreds, sorry, that you can pick from. It brings that knowledge gap, and it brings different ways of thinking, and hopefully that enables companies or people that read it to take back to their businesses, take back to their product, all for free. And we kind of see ourselves as a ecosystem that's slowly building. I mean, some people say we're quickly growing, other people say I think we're not growing as quickly, but it's a way to help people, and to have that open directory that anyone can be involved in and get involved in the conversation.
That is fantastic. And in that way you can always keep learning, right?
Exactly. Learning's a big key thing. It's one thing I wish I started doing earlier, Laura. Learning a little bit.
I know. It's one of those regrets that we all have at one point of our lives, right? So exactly. But no worries, you are in your journey, and your journey has been fantastic. So you just have to fulfill it. So well, now a piece of advice that we want to take out from you: provide your top 3 tips to someone starting a digital publication.
Think about where your content's coming from. That'd be number 1. The second one would be think about how you're going to sustain the business. So what's your revenue model and what you're going to do? I'd strongly advise you thinking of different ways, especially if you're starting one. You're probably in a job to sustain your lifestyle, and I'd really move away from just having advertising, because we've seen recently how much that can impact a business's decisions and what they do, and all sorts of things. And third, I would think about the audience you're trying to serve. So what content, which kind of, I mean, I've got probably 5, but to match the first one is to really, if you think about the content, you think about who your audience is, and people want to serve everyone. I mean, to become a publication like mainstream media, it's so hard because there's so much information is available. But if you get niche and specific, and we've started partnerships with smaller brands, and those are the ones that are arguably more successful, higher engagement rates, higher views, higher visits, all these different things. So I'd consider those 3 as my kind of key areas. And if you're looking at 4th and 5th, obviously look at what your expansion route is, and what you'd like to go into, what you want to pivot to, what's your exit strategy. And 5, maybe think about what kind of team you want to build up around it, and the avenues that you can go down to build it. Because obviously, if you have more revenue, more resources, you can impact more people within your target audience and within your niche. So it's a good way to consider it. And it's things that some of those things there, I'll be fully honest, we're only just starting to consider, Laura, and we're going back on a lot of things I thought was the right decision, and it's become quite costly. And I wish I'd have done simple strategic mind maps, SWOT analysis, and even just doing asking yourself 20 questions. I mean, you can ask yourself 20 questions about the business, 30 questions about the business, and you can, if you're someone that uses ChatGPT, tell them to ask you what good questions to ask yourself. You don't have to use all of them, but you can vary it to what you want, and you'll have a much, like I did it. I didn't for like the SWOT and the things and strategies, because of what we're doing with our path for funding. And it was amazing how much it just opened my eyes. So I'd consider people to honestly look at that before, but at the same time, make sure you do delegate, because if you just keep planning, you're never going to start. So I'm a big fan of starting and amending as I go, and face a little bit more criticism, but you normally have a quicker business. So
I love it. I absolutely love that. You are thinking as a whole, as a project that it's like consolidated, not only like I am starting a blog or this. I love it. Thank you for your tip. Thank you for sharing. I bet that you have learned so much in these years with AI journey. So we are definitely, taking all of it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tom. So my last question for you will be, what do you think are the benefits of syndicating your content with Newstex?
Yeah, so obviously we're early on in our relationships. I'm yet to see the full returns, but just from when we spoke in our first conversations and the early openers, it was really interesting to see like what we can plug into, how we can benefit each other, and to see the companies that you're working with. And I mean, syndication, we don't do it just with yourselves, we do it with other companies as well. And it really is I'm always looking for ways I can get leverage, so ways I can get free coverage and not free, but valuable coverage and valuable partners, because you don't know where they can step in and help you down the line. And I mean, a lot of people want things short and fast, but really the big returns are when things compound and grow and the relationships really think. That's maybe a tip for last time. Make sure you invest in your relationships, because although it might be a relationship that doesn't lead to any financial gains, it can unlock all sorts of doors that eventually do lead to financial resource gains, especially for publishing, where it's getting harder and harder to monetize off advertising. And specifically to what you were saying, so that was the question before, but specifically to what you were saying, Laura, it's really helpful, because I mean, it opens our eyes to how you're doing business and how your team works, and how we can partner, and also opens the doors to your customers and likewise with ours. And it really really empowers both of us to have a bigger voice and more impact. And it's why when the opportunity came, we didn't really think about it much before we said, yeah, sure, we'll go ahead, because it looks it doesn't look, they are great avenues. And I mean, we're only just getting started with each other, but maybe we'll be having this conversation in 5-10 years, and we'll be able to show the key results and key stats that I know you've got with other customers and other partners to really build the brands, both our brands.
Absolutely. Well, Tom, we have nothing more to say that, like, good luck on all of this journey. I know that you are encountering a lot of I wouldn't say problems, just steps that you need to overcome, while you keep building your amazing company, project, publication, however you want to call it. So thank you for your time. One more time, thank you for sharing a little bit of yourself, your experience with us, and the best of the luck from the Newstex team.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I really appreciate you having me on, Laura, and it's a lot of fun to be partnered together, and appreciate everyone that's listened or watching.
Thank you. So, well, I'll let you go. Thank you, Tom. Bye-bye.